Okay, I'm pretty sure it is recording. Yep, it's recording. So, hi, how you doing? Hey, everybody, Badger here. So, I've been neglecting my Discord requests for a hot minute. I'm going to try to squeeze in some today in between me switching in between two different jobs I'm working. So, yes, I'm going to try to get in as much as I can. We'll see how far I get, which probably won't be far at all. I don't have that much time. But, yeah, so that being said, how you doing? So, okay. Seeing as that I am retired Army, and, I'm a huge fan of other vets, telling us their stories and then weighing in with my knowledge, experience, and expertise about specifically Humvees. see what I did? See, never mind. Anyway, this is from MikeBurnfire on YouTube. This is a Discord request, I believe, from No Running in My Lobby. I've been neglecting him for a minute. Sorry, dude. I've just been busy doing everything else. So, yeah. MikeBurnfire, Humvees, APCs, Campfire stories. Y'all ready? Let's get in.
I used to have, flip clocks? The inside of the clock is a bunch of little cards. It's like a Rolodex. And when it ticks over to the next number, it goes click and it flips down.
So it's a bunch of different cards that flip over.
Yeah, basically.
Automatically based on the time.
I had one of those. It's this ancient alarm clock. It used a little tiny incandescent bulb to illuminate the inside of the alarm clock.
It seems very niche, very little campy thing.
Well, it was from like the 80s. That's not why I had it, but it was from the 80s.
Wouldn't surprise me if it was why you had it.
I'm pretty sure it may have been like my mom's alarm clock when she was in college, and I was just like, this is what I'm using.
Okay.
That would go off, and there was one morning that it went off. I can sleep through almost anything.
Yes, you can.
There was one morning where it went off, and I grabbed it and just threw it across the room.
And it shattered into a million cards.
No, it continued working, because that thing was damn near indestructible. There was another morning where I woke up. I was late for whatever it was. Mm-hmm. I couldn't figure out why my alarm hadn't gone off. I also couldn't figure out where my alarm clock was. Had no idea where my alarm clock had gone. Mm-hmm. Went into the closet to get a shirt. Opened the closet door, and at the bottom of the closet was
a mess of screws and parts.
A big bundle of blanket. I had taken the alarm clock, unplugged it from the wall, wrapped it in a blanket, and thrown it into the closet while I was asleep.
Sleepwalking. That's awesome. That's awesome. I can relate. So when he's talking about flip clocks, they were like these clocks from way back in the day. Oh man, so far back. Anyway, and every time, it would tick time, like different cards would flip up on the clock. So it was like a rotating little Rolodex inside of inside of like the clock frame, and like it'd have the numbers, and then AM and PM would be its own card and stuff like that, and it would be like click, and then that's how it would like do it, telling time. But yeah, those things were pretty neat. I probably need to go find myself another one at some point. Actually, wait, it might be a collector's item nowadays, so actually it might be too expensive for me to get. Never mind. Man. Anyway, but yeah, I remember flip clocks. And then I remember, right after flip clocks was like the ones with like the rolling settings, scrolling buttons on top and stuff. And it had like the AM button, the PM button, and then like the big giant like snooze buttons on top. They had to like smash down really hard to like to snooze your alarm. Man, and it was a radio, which is pretty cool. And you could pick up different like actual like different communications frequencies as well, which is pretty funny. You'd be flipping through the radio stations real slow and just suddenly hear air traffic. Damn, those were the days. But yeah, I like it. I like it.
You were so tired, you don't even remember.
Did I ever tell you about the about me sleeping through a mortar attack?
You were mortared quite a few times. I don't remember you sleeping through one.
We got mortared multiple times, and one of the things that our unit started doing was when we started getting mortared at nighttime, because we were in a barracks, a long building, rooms on one side, rooms on the other side, one big hallway that goes all the way down there, and then it stairs upwards to a second floor, which is more of the same. Mm-hmm. So when we started getting mortared, they got everybody to come out of their rooms into the hallway so they could get accountability of who all was there, which I thought was a really fucking stupid idea.
What? You mean because we're all now in one long corridor?
Because now we're all in one long corridor, and if a mortar comes straight through the roof, it's going through the roof, down, and it's going to detonate in the hallway and just send shrapnel ricocheting down this hallway made of cinder blocks.
Well, how else would you have gotten accountability?
Go open the door to their room and check to see if they're there.
I guess. Maybe everyone stands in the doorway and reports that everyone is there.
I don't know. There's definitely a better way to do it. Other than, cluster up, boys, they can't hit all of us at once.
Unless they...
Yeah, this is the thing. You could tell if leaders are low energy. They're just freaking low energy, simple leaders who they want everyone else to make things more convenient for them instead of trying to figure out the best way to do things. They just do things, and this is known as like hurry up and wait. Work until it's stupid, essentially. It sounds like they had that kind of leadership where it was like, okay, everybody cluster up in the hallway, and he's got a point there, right? Now we're all in one spot. So if a mortar hits, best case scenario, immediately 30% of the unit is out of commission. Dead, dying, or wounded. Good freaking idea. Awesome. But yeah, sounds like a guy with rank was one of the people in charge of that one. But yeah, this is something you see a lot of in the regular force, is that you'll get leaders who everybody else has to accommodate them, right? When in reality, that's not even the most efficient way to do things. It's not the most efficient, nor is it the most effective, nor does it make any goddamn sense. And so a lot of soldiers, like, they'll do like maybe 1 or 2 terms and they're done. They're done because they're stuck in units that are run like that, and they just cannot get away from that freaking unit to experience the rest of the army. And they end up just getting out because they're like, you know what? Bug it. Bug you and everything that you are. Goodbye. And they wonder why retention numbers have always been going down for like the last so many years. Retention has been going down incredibly so. And people are noticing even nowadays. The Army failed to reach its recruiting goals this year by a giant margin. It was something like they only reached 39% of recruiting goals or something like that. Or either that or recruiting was down 39%. And that's just recruiting. That's getting people to join the Army, to join the military in general. So you can only imagine what retention's been like. People don't want, part of the problem is that, yeah, there's a bunch of Bidens who are guys with rank, who are in charge of shit, who got no business having no rank at all, right? So yeah, you got a bunch of Bidens that are NCOs and officers in their good boy clubs, good old boy clubs that I hear, that I experienced a little bit of it myself, but I hear about it a lot more often nowadays. And so guys are like, you know what? Screw you. I'm not working for you any longer. This is how the whole organization seems to be. Not to mention, we have that like Democrats are in charge of most of everything at the moment. So yeah. I don't want to work for this government either. I really don't. I really freaking don't. In fact, I'd rather do the opposite, but anyway, I may or may not have a choice pretty soon here, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, let's keep going.
Here's a single mortar, yep.
Anyway, I got real tired of doing that. One, because I would just straight up sleep through mortar attacks. And two, I was like, this is stupid. We're all gonna die.
If I'm gonna die, I'm not gonna die tired.
Yeah, exactly. Well, also, what if we're getting mortared and I'm asleep? Why are you waking me up so that I can die awake?
What do you want me to do about it? Yeah, I'll go shoot down the mortar.
Yeah, let me die in my sleep, jackass. Anyway, do you remember like the early invasion of Iraq when...
That wasn't there.
Do you remember the whole big deal with up-armored Humvees?
It sounds very familiar to me.
When we first invaded Iraq, we went into Iraq with the most inadequate shit.
I do seem to remember. There's something about body armor too.
The body armor was all woodland camo. Most of the uniforms were woodland camo initially. So we're in the middle of a desert wearing woodland camo with like
green
M81 woodland camo vests. Mm-hmm. Which, I mean, I love woodland camo. Don't get me wrong, M81 woodland is amazing. It's like my favorite, it's one of my favorite camo patterns of all time. But it's not suitable for a fucking desert.
Right.
Facts. Absolute facts. But you know what? It still had a certain effect. At certain distances and at certain places, certain times of day and all that kind of stuff. Of breaking up your silhouette, essentially. Because that's the whole point of camouflage. To camouflage. To a certain extent. But also to break up the silhouette of the human body. So that when someone's trying to shoot at you, they have to focus really hard on you. Now, if you're, depending on time of day and all this kind of stuff, it actually can be somewhat useful, but not very. It's not as effective as wearing just pure DCU out in the desert. DCU actually works really good. But yeah. And, but yeah, people are getting sent over with woodland mixed with DCU, mixed with jungle, and all this kind of stuff. Wearing black boots still, the good old spit shine leather. You know what I'm saying? I was so happy when we got rid of those things. I freaking hated doing that stuff. I hated it so bad. Up. Okay, I'm back. Let's continue.
The other thing was, we went in there with Humvees that literally had like the nylon door. It was just a metal frame with a nylon door and a plastic window that folded down.
Yeah.
And then we got the fiberglass doors.
Yes.
So there was a big deal about like, these soldiers are in Iraq with doors that this Humvee literally has zero armor on it.
Yeah. Back when the Humvees were actually pretty well performing vehicles, right? They could go pretty quickly without rattling to death. Or sometimes they still rattle to death, but you know what I'm saying. It was a bit smoother of a ride when the Humvees weren't up armored. When they got up armored, they struggled to do everything. They really struggled. But yeah. Man. Those were the days. Anyway, so yeah, we went into Iraq with some equipment that was pretty shit. And we still champs. That's what we are. Anyway, let's continue.
Like, if you threw a baseball hard enough, you probably could get it to go through the... Oh my god, what is his name? What is the fucking baseball player's name that
Babe Ruth?
No, that obliterated a bird with his pitching.
I'm sure that's not what he wants to be known for.
He was pitched real fast.
Okay, let's go.
Anyway, if that dude pitched a baseball at the side of one of these Humvee doors, I'm sure he could get the baseball just go boop thunk, and punch a hole clean through the door.
Just throw the baseball through the door, huh?
Dude had like a 100-mile-an-hour fastball. It's like he could do it anyway. So they started just making doors out of sheet metal, which sucks. It's like that's not gonna stop an EFP, but it's better than nothing, I guess.
I guess.
Oh, sorry. EFP is an explosively formed projectile.
So we were slapping metal on Humvees, just any kind of metal, dude.
Yeah, basically.
Sheets of metal.
During the early global war on terror in Operation Iraqi Freedom, they were just slapping whatever they could find on the side of Humvees. Just anything. Like, legitimately, soldiers were piling sandbags in the bottom of the Humvee.
I remember doing that. Like, we would get sandbag, because there's sand everywhere there. Sand and dirt everywhere. So we'd just freaking, we would stuff the freaking sandbags full and just freaking, like, layer them in the bottom of the Humvees. Because that was, like, our protection. Like, and then if an IED did go off, and rip through sandbags, like it would still, like the sand itself would sting enough. And the explosive force would still be enough to rock your bell, even with really small ones, like 10 pounds. 10 pounds of HME was enough to cripple a Humvee. But
to absorb something.
Okay.
Hopefully it'll absorb some shrapnel.
Wow.
Because these early Humvees, during the early global war on terror, you could straight up take out a Humvee with a single hand grenade.
Wow, that's pretty pathetic.
It's pretty terrible.
Do you think they were designed that way because they weren't expecting to use them in that kind of combat?
No, because all the Humvees that the military was using, we had been using since like the 1980s. It's not a frontline combat vehicle. It's not an armored personnel carrier. You're just using this thing, this Jeep, as like basically just a utility truck.
I see.
You're just transporting stuff from A to B. And A to B usually does not include a front line anywhere. Also, by not putting a bunch of armor on it, it's slightly faster, so hopefully if you do encounter any enemies, you can kind of just go, and drive away really quickly. Also, you probably should have a dude on the back with a 50, and then he could like shoot at him, so whatever. That doesn't really work when you're in a urban environment and you're fighting asymmetric warfare, i.e. a bunch of insurgents who are planting fuck-off landmines on the side of the road.
Yeah, it seems like the Humvees were designed for conventional warfare, not to combat insurgencies or partisan participants.
Yeah, exactly. They were designed for conventional warfare, and they weren't ever supposed to be frontline vehicles.
My initial thought was, how did we not learn anything from Operation Desert Storm in the 90s? But at the same time, that was more of a conventional war too, wasn't it?
That was more of a conventional war against a very underpowered enemy. You didn't have Humvees doing frontline combat. Maybe you had some Humvees doing scout duty? Anyway, one of the things that they did when they were up-armoring vehicles is they ordered these huge, like, these massive blankets made of Kevlar. It's just like 100 layers of Kevlar. It's a lot. These blankets are like maybe an inch thick.
Wow, it's a lot.
It's a lot of Kevlar. And they would take those and they would use like tin snips to cut them up and fit them and put them in the bottom of a Humvee so that, again, it could absorb some shrapnel.
Right. The Humvee might still be wrecked, but hopefully the soldiers inside are still alive.
Hopefully you don't get like a chunk of shrapnel the size of your fist coming through the bottom of the Humvee and going up your asshole. A molten copper enema is not exactly the most fun thing.
I wouldn't imagine so.
Yeah.
Oh, damn. Give me a sec. Okay, let's go.
Yeah. So there were a bunch of these extra Kevlar blankets that were left over sitting in the motor pool, just stacks of them. And I was sick of constantly being woken up in the middle of the night because there was a period for about a good 2 months.
Oh, yeah. To touch on the Kevlar sheaths, which is essentially what they were, sheaths, not blankets in the truest sense. There's Kevlar blankets, but they're a bit different. What we would do in the earlier times that I was there is that with those, we would like cut them to fit all inside of the vehicle. And then when we had like extras and more left over and stuff like that, we would like stuff some in like our assault bag. There's like a pouch in the back there with like cargo securing straps. And we take a big thick thing of it and like slap it back there for extra protection in case we got shot from behind. And then on top of that, like, if we had like a wooden door on our hitch, then we would like freaking put like double sheaths like on the other side of the wooden door. Because not everything was perfectly well set up in the earlier days. But yeah, that stuff had a lot of uses. It would definitely slow shit down. For a good, huge measure, it would slow a lot of stuff down. But it never truly stopped anything. Very few times. And only if it was like doubled up. And then it used in tandem with something else. So yeah, but that stuff was it was okayly useful-ish.
That we would get mortared anywhere from 2 to 4 times a day, every single day. And then it would go like 2 days where we wouldn't get mortared, and chain of command would be like, okay, if we don't get mortared if we don't get mortared today, this is the 3rd day. If we don't get mortared today, you don't have to wear your flak vest and Kevlar every time you go outside.
Okay, seems weird.
Well, because we had to wear it every time we went outside because we could get mortared at any point.
You probably still will after 3 days of not being mortared, though.
Well, because one of the things that we got really good at was triangulating exactly where the mortar came from within seconds of it being fired. We had like really good firefinder systems that could calculate it within seconds of being fired. And I'm just now remembering another side tangent. We had these firefinder systems that are these big panels. They're like big radar panels that they put on top of buildings. Somebody got a little remote-controlled helicopter, and they thought it would be funny to fly one of those around. So they were flying it around in front of the firefinder system, and the firefinder system thought it was an incoming mortar, so it just starts going, bam, 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 incoming, bam, bam, bam. It's so like everyone's running, and this dude with the helicopter's like, oh, fuck, and just drops it and runs away. Anyway.
Yeah, and you got pinned for that?
I don't know if they actually figured out who did it, but they were basically just like, no more flying helicopters outside here. It's just like...
Makes sense.
Anyway, so we got real good at pinpointing where incoming fire was coming from.
So you would attack the location where the fire came from, and you would assume...
Yes, well, we would either send a QRF, which is a quick reaction force. We would either send a QRF out to where the mortar site was if it was close enough to try to stop them, or we would just do counter battery fire and fire mortars back at them. The insurgents very quickly figured out that's what we were doing. One of the things they did is they would take mortars. They would take a mortar. So you know how a mortar works?
You basically launch it from a tube.
Yeah, you basically have a tube on the ground. You hold the mortar over the top of it. You let go of it. It slides down the tube, hits the firing pin, and launches the mortar out. What they would do is they would set up 10 mortar systems in like one location. And the day before, they would take each mortar and put it in a bucket of water and then freeze it.
I was actually gonna guess that, but then I thought, no, that's a stupid thing to guess. There's no ice out there. They have no access to ice.
So they got refrigerators. So what they would do is they would set up like 10 mortar tubes, get them relatively zeroed, and then bail. And then throughout the day, as the ice begins to melt, the mortars start sliding down the tubes and going off. If the US does counter battery fire, there's nothing there to hit. They hit a bunch of empty mortar tubes.
I guess, yeah, we're just kind of counter battery fire is a waste of resources.
So because we realized they were doing that, we would figure out where the mortars were coming from. We would look down there with a drone, abandon mortar tubes. We just wouldn't do counter battery fire. We just kind of stopped responding to it. Almost like just ignore it.
Okay.
Even though they're dropping mortars on us, just ignore it. Pretend it's not happening.
Yeah, that happened quite often. Quite often we would see like the poo sites abandoned. Although sometimes you would still like catch guys like setting up a mortar or a rocket system. And man, our arty guys got so good with it. I think I've told this story before. Our arty guys got so good with it that sometimes they would just do direct lay. Like they would label each of the regular poo sites that they would use and have them dialed in And then when we would see them setting up on PTIDs, call it up, and they would direct lay on the poo site. And you just see, it was freaking awesome. It was a good time.
Okay. And then after a good 3-4 weeks of that, they were like, they're not doing anything anymore. That means we can launch as many mortars as we want with impunity. So one day, they go out there, and they started mortaring us for probably about a good 20 minutes.
Jeez.
Just constant boof, boof, boof. These things are just going off constantly.
There is value in varying up your tactics.
Yep. The only problem is, because we would look with a drone to see what was going on, we could see that there were like 20 guys out there just launching mortars at us. So they flew over with Apaches and turned the entire area into mulch.
Oh, okay.
And then we didn't get any mortared anymore.
So that leads into you not being mortared for 2 days.
Oh, well, that doesn't lead into that. Basically, they would vary up their tactics. They would like wait a couple days.
Well, the entire reason
Not
you told
mortared.
this story is because you started off telling another story about how you...
Yeah, I got that real ADHD.
I
brain.
know, but now going back to that story where you
Okay.
didn't have to wear armor
So
on the
they're
third
like,
day.
oh, well, if we don't get mortared by midnight tonight, then we don't have to wear flak vests and Kevlar anytime you go outside anymore.
Which seems poorly thought out, but anyway.
It does seem poorly thought out, and also I didn't really.
You didn't like
I was
to wear flak and Kevlar.
I didn't want to wear my flak vest and Kevlar anywhere, and I also kind of just wanted to die. So I was like, whatever. If a mortar lands right next to me, I'm already fucking dead anyway. Why am I wearing this crap? Just what? I don't care. I mean, yeah, if a mortar landed like 50 meters away from me, I could still get hit with a chunk of shrapnel and die. The flak vest would have stopped anyway. So it'd be, okay, so we're just like sitting there like watching the clock, waiting for midnight to roll around. 11:51, mortars start dropping in, just like, God, I don't want to wear this thing anymore. Stupid flak vest keeping me alive.
I'm so hot.
Oh, I love it. Oh, I love it. Me personally, because I trained so much with my armor, so much with it, all the time, every time. Going to the gym, wearing it. Running around the fob or the cob, wearing it. Working out in my hooch, wearing it. I wore that stuff everywhere. It became just another layer of skin to me, essentially. Train like you fight, essentially. But yeah, I get where he's coming from. You know, it's not exactly the best thing starting out. Especially if you don't wear it 24/7 like I used to. It's not the best thing. Because like depending on what size you get, you know, sometimes it'll ride a bit high on your back. And so when you're sitting in a vehicle, like part of you is like stuck either, you know, frontal, or you're like having to hunch over because like you can't really sit straight with the armor and stuff like that. Especially the old school IBAs. The IBAs were, I mean, they were okay, but whatever. But yeah, freaking, yeah. Tough times. I get it. I understand.
It's so uncomfortable. I would go days without eating because it was too hot to go out to the dining facility.
Jeez.
I would just be sitting there and be like, it's time to go get food. I'm just gonna eat some Pop-Tarts and drink some water. It's fine.
Jesus.
It's too hot to go to the dining facility. I'm not putting all that crap back on.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, if you have to put all your gear on to go eat, I guess, like...
Oh, it was miserable.
have to weigh
Anyway.
that, yeah.
Anyway. We're getting mortared every day. And I'm tired of having to get out of bed and go sit in the hallway. And we got these Kevlar blankets sitting at the motor pool.
They're very comfortable to lay on, I assume.
Not really.
No.
They're quite thick. It'd be like laying on a big leather pad.
Which,
Like-
I mean, I did that in gym class. It was kind of fun.
Yeah. It would be better than sleeping straight on the ground, but they don't have a whole lot of give to them.
Gotcha.
And I'm looking at these blankets, and the old wheels start a-turning.
Oh, boy.
So I grab like 2 of these Kevlar blankets and just drag them all the way back to my barracks room.
They were pretty heavy. Those Kevlar sheaths were pretty heavy. You're talking at least like 50 pounds. They're pretty heavy.
Okay.
I take one of the blankets and I make a handle for it out of duct tape. like a big pull handle.
Okay.
And then the other blanket, I shove it in between the mattress and the bed frame.
Okay.
So we start getting mortared that night. I grab the handle and I pull the Kevlar blanket up over myself, and thus cocooning me inside a giant Kevlar pod.
That seems terrifying.
It was quite comfy, actually.
I know for you, Mr. I love being compressed in an MRI machine. It might not seem terrifying to you, but the prospect of it not opening back up is kind of horrific.
Oh, no, because literally I could just push the Kevlar blanket off me.
Yeah, unless the building got mortared and then rubble fell on you.
Yeah, but then I'm dead. If the building got mortared and it collapsed on me, I'm dead anyway, so what do I care?
I'd rather be mortared than buried and trapped in my Kevlar cocoon.
That wasn't really a concern for me, because it basically would just be like if you got in a really thick sleeping bag.
Okay.
It pretty much is the same. Just imagine it's a sleeping bag, but it's a bulletproof sleeping bag.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, or an EOD suit without legs or sleeves. You're just in a little Kevlar burrito. So, oh yeah, I also forgot that I put my helmet on. I put on my helmet and then pulled all this other stuff over me, and just went right back to sleep. So they're coming down the hallway. Everyone get in the hallway, get in the hallway. They're just like pounding on the doors. Platoon sergeant's like, where's Hazard? Where's Hazard at? And my squad leader goes like running down there, like pushes open my door and shines a flashlight in there and just sees this olive green Kevlar burrito with a helmet poking out of the top of it. And he goes, oh, Hazard's fine, and just closes the door.
The things you get used to.
He's like, oh, he's fine. He's probably safer than all of us. What the fuck?
And then 2 hours later, he emerged as a beautiful Kevlar butterfly.
With Kevlar wings. Pin me to your corkboard now, Mr. Scientist. I actually slept through several mortar attacks because the only reason that I woke up was because someone came and like kicked my door open and was like, get in the hallway, we're getting mortared. And I'm just like, again?
Again.
Can we not?
God, I hate war so much.
War sucks. When they said war is hell, I didn't know they meant I wouldn't be able to sleep. That's one of the reasons that I sleep so much. Well, Gulf War syndrome is the other one, but being exposed to burn pits has permanently ruined my brain.
We have many different reasons why you like to sleep.
I love sleep. Sleep is amazing. But yeah, I slept through mortar attacks straight up. So I got so used to being mortared that I would like when I hear the incoming siren, it's like, all right, fuck, whatever. I start like slowly walking to the bunker because the bunker's like 20 feet away. I can get there in time. It's gonna be fine.
It'll protect me. Ugh.
Whatever, it'll protect me. And it's just like they don't hit me. Literally, the joke is like they can't hit anything anyway. They keep blowing up the soccer field, and there's never anybody out there, so who cares? What's gonna happen? Are they gonna get like 1 foot closer to me than yesterday? So like slowly walk into the bunker, stop to light up a cigarette. As I'm trying to light the cigarette, one lands like within 100 meters of me, and I'm just instantly like, run into the bunker.
Put the fear of God in you.
Yeah, it's just like that happens. That happens to so many people too. It's just.
One time we were getting mortared, and I was stuck in the porta shitter. I got stuck in the porta shitter. So, okay. We were on Fob Boris. And there was a porta shitter near the KBSS station. Like, literally, like, maybe 25 meters away at the very most. And so, you know, I finished doing my rounds. I get to the porta-john. I shut the door, you know, I told everybody that's where I'd be. I got my weapon with me and everything, just in case. And then I hear, like, I'm halfway through, like, doing the business, and I just hear, incoming. And I'm like, damn it! And just when I say that, one lands like not even like a few meters away from the freaking porta-john. And there's like these tall Texas barriers that are next to it and everything. And you know, on those barriers sometimes they would have like they would like lean stuff up against them. But yeah, one of the barriers must have gotten really rocked because it fell literally right in front of the porta-john door. like smack dab right there, and then like dimpled it in a little bit at the bottom of the porta shitter. Because the porta shitter was surrounded on like 3 sides by these super tall like Texas barriers. And, you know, and then of course like sandbags all around and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, there was one that was right next to it that like that was close enough, and then whoop. And so like I'm like pulling my stuff up, zipping up. Oh wait, give me a sec. Let us continue.
You get so complacent about just like, whatever, nobody cares about mortars until a mortar lands within 100 meters of you, and you just like scream like a little girl and dive to the nearest bunker. Yeah.
War is mundane until it's not.
It really is. It's real goofy.
I don't think I ever saw the unarmored Humvees. By the time I had joined a few years later, everything was armored.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, at that point, they had just armored the hell out of everything.
Tell you what, slamming your fingers in a car door ain't fun, but slamming your fingers in an armored Humvee?
Yeah, I think that happened to one of the people in our unit. They legitimately lost a chunk of their finger.
Yeah, it does some serious damage.
It just went boop and just popped it off.
Ah, no, that's not a good image.
If I recall correctly, one of the problems is a lot of the Humvees had like a magnesium armor, which magnesium armor is really lightweight. It can handle a good amount. The problem is if it catches fire, that shit burns so fucking fast.
Yeah.
And you cannot put it out. When we were there, they had these new fire suppression systems they'd put in the Humvee. It had like sensors on the inside of the Humvee.
Had a sprinkler on the inside.
Kinda, yeah. It was like a dry chemical fire extinguisher. So there's multiple types of fire extinguishers you can get. One of the fire extinguishers they used to use in military vehicles was a Halo fire extinguisher, which is real fucking bad because Halo is a oxygen remover.
Oh, so we're gonna suffocate the soldiers so they don't burn.
Yeah, basically you have to try to get everybody out of the vehicle first and then deploy the Halo fire extinguisher. The only problem with that is some of these fire extinguishers, the handle for it was on the outside, and if you knew where it was, you could just run up to a military vehicle and pull the Halo thing and then suffocate everyone inside the vehicle. So, I was out on a convoy at one point, and we were waiting to go somewhere, so we were just stopped, we were all like lined up, getting ready to roll out, and one of the vehicles is just sitting there, and then I just see, poof, this like white mushroom cloud goes shooting out the turret. And all the doors open and everyone just comes out of the vehicle. They come out just completely covered in white powder.
How did that go off?
One of them was sitting in there smoking, and he took a drag off the cigarette, and then he held the cigarette too close to the fire suppression system, and it saw the bright red glow of the cigarette, and went, "Oh fuck! The whole vehicle's on fire!" and just fumigated off the entire thing. So they're just all standing there like it looked like someone threw a bag of flour in their face. It was like, what happened?
Facts, freaking facts. Bub, this is taking me down memory lane. This is taking me so far down memory lane. But yeah, like they had like the fire extinguishers after the up armored stuff, and then the vehicles didn't perform well enough. Just, man. So much stuff. And then a buddy of mine almost got burnt to death because of the magnesium armor. Like, his vehicle caught fire. After they hit an IED, it caught fire, and it flipped a few times and rolled down in like a short embankment. It was like canted down at an angle against the opposite side of like the little shallow like ditches on the side of the road. And, you know, one side of the vehicle just was on fire and then just started burning really freaking quickly. And he was like damn near trapped trying to like climb his way to the other side of the vehicle with all of his kit on. Because he wasn't thinking about like, if I shed the kit and jump out, I'll be faster. But yeah, he almost got burned alive because of that. And yeah, Bob. So many screw-ups.
Goodness.
It was so funny because obviously they needed help. They needed someone to like pour water on them or just something.
But you're all too busy laughing.
Everyone is standing there pointing and laughing at them. funny as shit.
And, you know, a lot of the times we would smoke in the vehicles, but not inside the vehicles, right? Like, we would take turns on the turret, essentially. It's like, hey, you know, I need a smoke break. It's like, all right, swap out with me. You know, because really anybody who has the training and experience on pretty much any of the crew serve weapons and any of like any of the LMGs, the MMGs, the HMGs, pretty much anybody can man them. So yeah, we would just take turns in the turrets. And just get up there. We'd have like our different smoke packs with our names on them and stuff. Like after they started actually installing like actual turret deflectors and stuff. But yeah, man, this takes me so far back. Damn, those are the days. Sometimes shitty, but those were the days.
We got an armored personnel carrier into our motor pool at one point because apparently there weren't any tracked vehicle repairmen nearby.
And you were working on it because it's a small gun?
No, I was working on it because I didn't have anything else to do. And it was a little tank, and I thought it would be fun.
Okay.
I know it's not actually a tank. Oh my god, a 113 isn't a tank. Whatever. It has tracks. I was like, oh my god, it's a tank.
An APC is a tank, as far as I care.
It isn't really, but whatever. Anyway, we got this 113 in. And it needed just some various things done to it. It needed like the transmission serviced, and it needed like the handle repaired on the door on the back of it. Some other stuff fixed. Because basically what they were doing is they were using it as a gate guard vehicle. There's the gate that you would normally drive through.
Right.
And what they would do is they would park the little armored personnel carrier sideways in front of the gate.
In case anyone tried to ram through the gate?
Yeah, basically in case someone tried to ram through the gate, because now you have to get through an entire armored vehicle. So yeah, they like needed some various things fixed on it. So I like found the manual for it and started helping to try to replace stuff. And I got to drive it around a bunch, which, you know how normally on like an automatic transmission, when you grab the little handle, it says like PRND1. This one, it was like PRP D D2 L Q Japanese sign for fire?
The second P is probably R, but like the leg is shaved off or something.
Well, no, it wasn't shaved off, but I do specifically remember that there was one that said P that was not park. And the reason I know it wasn't park is because I got in the tank to move it. There was nothing else in the motor pool. We had specifically made sure that all the other vehicles were away from this one.
Because this is weird, huh?
Because none of us actually knew how to drive the armored personnel carrier.
I see.
So I get in the little armed personnel carrier. I figure out how to start it, which is pretty simple, honestly. There's just a big knob that says start, and you turn it. So I get in there. What's P do? Put it in P, press the gas pedal, and it goes wow, and does a 180.
It turns around?
It just starts spinning in place. Turns out P stands for pivot.
Pivot. Oh, okay.
Yeah, P is pivot, not park.
I'm glad that's not confusing at all.
No.
That's freaking awesome. Yeah, that's freaking awesome. Man, I love that. P's for pivot. Oh, man. That's awesome.
Not at all confusing. Anyway, yeah, I figured out how to drive it. It was really cool. It was, man, I had so much fun driving that little armored personnel carrier on.
Once you figured out how it worked.
Yeah.
P for pivot, R for
pivot,
run people over, D for don't move. Yeah, that all makes sense.
Do you know what tankers call infantry?
Crunchies.
Yeah, crunchies.
You've told me.
Okay, yeah. I had, man, that thing was so much fun to drive.
And we called tankers DATs. Some of y'all are probably gonna explain exactly what that stands for in the comments. I love it.
Around.
You didn't tell me you drove a tank and an APC.
Well, it is an APC.
You said you also drove a tank.
That's what I. Oh, yeah. No, I drove.
You're having some trouble remembering all the things you've driven.
I had that brain problem again. Yes, I have driven an M1 Abrams and I have driven a armored personnel carrier.
Okay.
The M1 Abrams, it wasn't for very long. It was for like, I don't know, maybe a minute.
You were parking it.
Yeah, basically. I still have that image somewhere. I still have that picture somewhere of me driving me sitting in the armored personnel carrier, trying not to grin like an idiot.
Just took a selfie of yourself in an APC.
No, somebody else took a picture of me.
All right.
But yeah, it's just a photo of me in an APC trying not to grin like an idiot because I'm super happy. I'm even wearing like the combat vehicle crewman helmet. I got like that whole thing on with like the headphones. I'm like, yay, this is fun.
Well, I'm glad every experience you had was fun over there.
There we go, folks. There we go. MikeBurnfire, Campfire Stories, Humvees and APCs. I liked it. I like MikeBurnfire stories. Oh man, it brings on the nostalgia train. It really does. Man, those were the days. I wish I could go back in time just to go back into the military all over again. I really wish. Anyway, what did y'all think? Y'all let me know in the comments down below. All right. This one's pretty long already, even though I tried to keep my stuff to a minimum, but I guess this will probably be the only one I'll be able to do tonight. That being said, what did y'all think? Let me know in the comments down below. All right, you know what time it is. There's a description box full of things. Check it out. Click all the buttons underneath the video. Discord link, description box. Donor link, description box. Member link, description box. Yeah, and I guess I will see y'all whenever I see y'all the next time. Be good. Be safe. Make good life for yourselves. And Badger has to go to his second job. So, see you in the next one. Badger out.